Sorry about the background noise. Let's make this Viessmann fire. This one has the yellow burner on it. Linkage modulation, air adjustment through the cams. Runs the air shutter and the gas butterfly valve. Going down into ignition point right now. Low fire ignition. Pre-purge. High fire purge. Out on high fire purge. Now we're going back down to the ignition. We'll push the combustion analyzer in the exhaust. Pilot ignition, main flame. We are still in low fire. And our combustion readings. Going to give it a few minutes for the gases to work their way through the boiler. .15-degree boiler water. Oxygen levels are balancing out. Stack temperature is 116 degrees. Walk this up into about 50% range. You can hear that wind up. Let this balance out. See where we end up at. Leak check our unions while we're at it. wipe all the soap up after you're done. Otherwise you leave the floor all sticky. So far that looks good. Fairly decent flame. Still running about 50%. And our O2 doesn't look too bad. Carbon monoxide is about 17 parts per million. Let's take it up to high fire. Million BTUs. Well, that's the output. It's about 2.7 million in. Stack temp. And we'll go ahead and print these results. Looks like my printer paper's running low. I'll have to change that for the next boiler. Results are recorded on the combustion analyzer, so I can lower this burner back down. Drop that back down into low fire, then we'll cycle this burner off. I've got one more boiler to go through, do a combustion check after my final cleaning. Alright, so that's all the way back down in the low setting. And as always, remember, take it out of manual, put it back in automatic. Otherwise your boiler will be locked in whatever position you left it set in. And now we can shut the override off on this Viessmann. Let things go back into their normal state. Got the boiler water up to 140 by now, so it doesn't take too long when it's 45 degrees outside. Our combustion tape's done printing. So we'll open the next boiler up, see what the insides look like. That one's only 1 million output. Circulator pumps, cascade control, makeup air unit. Everything else appears in pretty good shape. Doing some maintenance today in a loud boiler room. This one's about 1 million BTU output. Old Viessmann with a yellow burner. What the burner heads look like on these things. Oh, we'll grab a flashlight. There we go. Igniter inside. Inside the combustion chamber. Stainless steel. Condensing boiler. Got a little bit of scrubbing to do. Get some of the little dust and burnt particles off. Flush this out with a garden hose. I've already done the majority of the CSD inspections. Low water cutoffs, safety reliefs, gas train, make sure that our boiler burner train doesn't leak any gas past when they're closed. Also got high temperature safeties on these things. Air pressure switch. relay packs, modulating position control for the gas valve, butterfly, and the air damper. So this will suck combustion air in. Modulating burner. Alright, got some stainless steel cleaner for the combustion side of the boiler. Don't use this on your drinking water systems. But you can use it on the fire side following the manufacturer's directions and recommendations and all other legal disclaimers. Typically you'll spray this on, let it sit for about 5 minutes, give it a scrub with a brush, and then make sure you rinse everything, neutralize it, flush all the garbage down the drain, clean the drain, and look for drain leaks while you're at it. And try not spraying your phone or any electronics while you're getting the rest of the residue rinsed out. Not going to get all of the deposits and stains removed, but it'll get the light ones removed, allowing the best heat transfer we can get for efficiency. And of course now we've flooded way more water through there than what normally would go down the boiler. So we walk around. Yep, looks like we got some repairs to do on the drain. Try not flooding your transformer out. So that'll be one of the next projects. Sealing the drain cap, drain fittings. And looks like water is coming out of our drain, our main drain. So it doesn't look like any blockage there. Just some repairs on the bottom side of the vent. Dry off any excess moisture. Inspect your primary and secondary heat exchanger gasket seals. These are all intact. Burner refractory is solid, no cracks. Niter assembly is clean. Gap is correct. Refractory around the burner is still intact. Got the majority of the crumbs and dust scrubbed out of the heat exchanger. Flush down the drain. Again, we need to return at another date, get that drain leak corrected. Now we'll close things up, reconnect the fuel lines, check for leaks, and fire the boiler. And this little one's all back together. So check our fuel lines. Make sure we don't have any leaks on any of the gas fittings we took apart. Get the power back on. Turn the control back on. Let the control restage. Stuff our analyzer probe in the exhaust that we still have to fix the leak on. Fire the boiler, do a combustion test on it. We'll put it in override. So manual, force that burner up to high fire. Again, like with the other boiler, we'll put the burner control in manual so we can control the position. It is staging through its pre-checks. Again, butterfly damper on the gas train. Air damper, butterfly, servo motor. Burner sight glass is tucked up in here. Yeah, I might have to move the phone around weird to get in there, but either way, we still got to get into low fire, high fire, pre-purge. Combustion fan's not running yet. Manual, here we go. Combustion fan's revving up. Actuator's moving. And again, this one is adjusted off from these screws. You move this band. The band makes contact with the wheel. And then that wheel progressively opens and closes the air damper to match the fuel. Simple design. But that's why we do annual inspections. Make sure none of the linkages come loose. No corrosion. And that everything works smoothly. So we are in at high fire right now, I believe. High fire purge. So this will time out. Go back down to a low fire setting, or the ignition setting. Starting to turn back now. Our combustion analyzer is running. We're still at 29 oxygen, so we haven't fired yet. Just heard the pilot kick in. Should start to see that on our CO coming up and our oxygen going down. Main burner just energized. Yep, have fire. And we are about low fire. We'll step this thing up to high. Output, sucking some fuel. Still have 90-degree water going through the system. Oxygen's trimming out. We'll see where that settles. Look at a mess to clean up behind this thing. AL29 stainless steel gasketed exhaust going through the roof. System pump and strainer, stage control, make-up air for combustion air for the space. Make-up air dumps in up there, feeds the room with fresh air. So, let's see, 4.9, we're getting pretty close. We'll see where this settles out, give it another minute. Our stag temperature is still only 116. Water temperature is up to 97, 99. We're down to about 4.8 now on our oxygen, 17 on our carbon monoxide. That looks pretty good. Just using a UEI Eagle X2X. Not my favorite product, but it seems to do the job. The only complaint is after a certain period of time, it'll shut off on you, requiring you to re-zero it to outside air. Let's go ahead and print this. Like those readings. We've already made some pre-adjustments to the burner, so this is pretty much just documentation. So we'll hit print. Burner's going to start going. At that point, we will release the burner from high fire. Back down to low fire. By now, the printer should be about done printing. Still working on it. 9.3 on our CO2. Carbon monoxide, 18. 94% efficient. So we'll have to stabilize after walking back down from high fire into low. Carbon monoxide doesn't look bad. Excess oxygen is about where we want it for low fire. Already jumped up to 106-degree water. We'll release this back into automatic. Shut the override off. And we can shut the boiler back down. Had the pumps running in manual just to dissipate heat. It's kind of warm today, so it makes it difficult to get any combustion setups done when you have no place to push heat. Snow melt heat exchanger section. So we have a transfer plate heat exchanger. Take our boiler water, transfer the energy over to the snow melt. You can put that back in automatic. You can restore the bypass. So now we're flowing back under control. Main circ pump's off. Did have a leak on the seal a while ago, so that's old residue. Otherwise, that looks pretty decent. Glycol feed is decent, and so it helps having a nice thermal dump to dissipate heat when it's fairly warm. So since these vehicles don't have traction control, we do a little snow melt out here. Keeps the driveway clear. Thanks for watching.